Light's on. Are you recording? Okay. Hello. Welcome to Two Mango Trees. Come forward, otherwise it's not hear me. Come forward. Hello and welcome to Two Mango Trees, which is a channel I'm starting on YouTube. Basically just looking for cool ways to garden and sort of what to do with the garden and just cool things that that I want to do with growing things and looking after land and whatnot. At the moment we don't have very much land. Kay and I are my wife and I are in this apartment in South London in New Malden, and the biggest garden that we have is actually this plot out here. Basically we've got some Swiss chard growing in here. We started growing these at the start of March or April last year when the sort of lockdowns came into effect in London. So my sister sent me a pack of seeds from Australia. They were on Amazon or something, and I basically just started growing these with a few ornamental plants. We had some ornamental tigerella tomatoes as well. Yeah, I think I can take it from me. Cheers. Thank you. Yeah, so pretty much it's not a very big space. I hope one day to have a bigger property. But yeah, the dream would be like 2 mango trees, a bigger property, yeah, and all kinds of cool like sort of homesteading things on there. But for now I just sort of make do with what I got. But I think it's pretty good. A lot of the houses around here with our neighbours are just growing the ornamental flowers and whatnot. But I thought, well, why not just grow some vegetables, and we were able to harvest all of these as well. All throughout summer we had like just so much. We had too much almost. We had to give it away. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
And we grew these from a bunch of clippings, these rosemaries, and I've got some garlic. Actually, these garlic are coming up. Oh, great. I got 4 garlic in there. And then these were where we grew the tomatoes last year. So we had some tigerella from the packet that my sister sent me, and we had some just Gardener's Delight, I think it was, and then some cherry tomatoes. And here's some more garlic going over here. And then, yeah, we actually had some beans running up here at the start of, was it June, they really started to flower, big beautiful red flowers. And the beans were quite long. I don't know what variety they were. But then after they died off, we turned that into another tomato trellis, and that grew tomatoes all over again. And our chives are going well. They survived the cold. They survived the snow. They're starting to put up their new growth now. And the oregano is still doing well as well. And the mint just never dies. Yeah, and something really cool. Did you like our avocado trees?
Yes.
Can you believe that? I put compost in here at the start of March just to get this ready for the new bed, and I must have put 2 avocado seeds in there because these saplings started to grow out of nowhere. And I think by sort of September, October, I started to notice them, and they'd grown their leaves, and I thought, oh, okay, what's that? And I was really surprised to find that that avocado trees can actually grow in London. But obviously they're not gonna, I don't think they'll survive, because after the snow, the tender leaves on the top started to die off, and yeah, they've been getting this weird brown spotting. But I'll leave them for now and see how they go. Swiss chard. This crop was planted back in March last year, and it's still going. So we had a few that went to head, and they grew up. And I took the seeds off, but unfortunately I left them in a bag, and the seeds got all moldy. But luckily we've still got a crop, because these ones just been going really great. Even when it snowed, it started, they sort of collapsed to the ground and started to get all wet and gross looking. But as soon as the snow finished and the sun came out, they just grew up again. I mean, these are the same leaves they got snowed on, so they're very hardy. So yeah, last year we had some lettuce growing here, other things. We had a few lettuce along here as well, just in their containers. Another tomato here on these trellises. This trellis is really good. The tomatoes will go very well. So you can grow a little bit in a small space. And yeah, I just guess I'll be documenting this year's growth. Also, I want to put a trellis up here. I reckon some some strawberry planters would go really well right there. But I'll see how it goes. And this is Kay's little flower bed. Got certain like different little things. These flowers, I don't know what kind they are, but they've survived all through summer, all through winter, and they're gonna be going well again in spring, I guess. What's been in there? What's digging around in there? I wonder. Maybe a squirrel or something. A few bulb flowers that Kay's put in there. We had some succulents that we took from Kay's mum, and we're just keeping them there because it's locked down and we can't deliver them to the garden yet. We're members of a community garden, and we made a rockery, and I wanted to put those in the rockery, but they've just been sort of staying there for now. What else is in here? We got a little ivy. My plan was for the ivy to grow down here, but it really isn't really taking off. It was funny because ivy usually goes so well. I wonder what's going on there. But yeah, I'll take you inside now and just show you my wormery. It's a bit weird having it inside, I know, but it was so cold outside for the past couple of weeks. It even snowed a few days, and I was keeping them there's a little cupboard behind the bins there. And I was just keeping them in there for a bit, but it just got so cold I took them inside, and this is the heater there, so they'll hopefully, well, they're doing really well, I know. So let's have a little look, see how my wormies are going. I fed them again 2 nights ago. What Kay and I have been doing is sort of collecting our food scraps, and then I sort of blend them up in the NutriBullet. So just right now I can smell nothing bad. I can smell soil basically, which is really good to know because there's not that anaerobic action happening inside the bin. There's no, I mean, the decaying sort of like compost. Let's have a look. Whoop. Oh, I put paper shredding on top, but the wormies are in there. There's one there. Hello, little fella. So they're liking it. You know, they're enjoying themselves. They're sort of just meandering around. I put, whenever we have like excess, like spam mail, what do you call it, junk mail, I grind that up in this paper shredder, and then I just put that on top. Yeah. And, yeah. I mean, so I feed them on this side, and I recently fed on this side, but I dug it down and put it down, so that's probably why there's no worms up there. Oh, there's one there. Hey, fella. Yeah, so they're quite happy, and like I said, there's no smell that's, you know, offensive. It just smells like the forest. It smells like soil, basically, which is really good. I'm happy about that. Yeah, they're real happy. So basically, the substrate is soil from our front garden, plus, you know, compost, and just some store-bought compost as well. This is actually mostly store-bought compost. It's that real cheap kind. It's literally buy it for about £1, or yeah, about £1 for, you know, a 5 kilogram bag, and it looks good, but you can just tell it's just it's very organic. It's very like, it's just mostly got like organic root or some kind of like fiber in it. I mean, it might be good for plants, but there doesn't seem to be much soil in there. And then there's a bit of sawdust at the bottom here. Right, so what else have we got going on? We got a little rockery here, which is our Kay and I's rockery. Mostly Kay's actually. She's been doing a real good job with this. She planted these little plants here, which didn't do much for a while, but look how they're going now. They're just really sort of just growing up. You know, they're just sort of expanding their leaves and looking really healthy and just growing up. And then we've got these string pearls here, which are doing all right. This is our second attempt at string pearls. I think we overwatered our last ones, but we probably need to transfer these into a new thing and let them sort of grow a bit more, because that looks a bit... And this plant, I don't know what it is, but it's really cool succulent, really cool looking succulent. And it was just sort of sitting there for a while, not doing much, and now through the summer and winter it's just thrived. Got some orchid here. These are our chilies. So we were sort of gifted these chilies and we didn't quite know what to do with them. They've just been sitting here. Looks a bit unsightly, but I just didn't know where else to put them. And somehow they're getting eaten by little bugs or something. So there's probably something living in the soil there. But yeah, they're happy. They put some leaves out. This one here was looking like a little stick and there was nothing going on, maybe like 3 leaves. And then recently it just sort of started really growing its leaves bigger and it's not getting attacked. So I think all the attacking is happening to these ones here, which is good for this plant at least. This is an unfortunate calla lily. Look how bad it is, jeez. It really does not look healthy. It was originally from a plant that Kay bought from B&Q or somewhere, I think. And then that sort of died off. And then there was the bulb, and Kay kept the bulb. And we were amazed to see it grow back into another plant, but it just sort of, it's just not been happy. I don't know what to do about it. I'm not an expert at houseplants in the slightest, or in plants in general. So that's kind of what this channel is about, I guess. I just want to document the process of me learning a bit more about it. So this here is a really, you could probably never guess what this is, or maybe you could, but this is where I got mushrooms growing actually. I mean, I put them up here because, why did I put them up here? Well, I had them over there, over near the heater, but I didn't want to keep them there for too long because I thought it might be too hot. Maybe that's what they need, but anyway. The point of it was, last year I grew mushrooms and they did really well. I thought they did well. And then I tried again this year. I grew the last year's batch in buckets. And then, and this year I decided to go with these bags so that I could hang them up and sort of have more areas for the spores to spawn out of. But yeah, they've been sitting there for a while. They're slow. I thought they were dead. I thought there was nothing happening. I thought that maybe the soil, the substrate was maybe had like a fungicide or something in it, because it was from clippings from the it was like sawdust. But as you can see, there is mycelium in there. It is growing. It's just taking a long time. I don't know if it's because it's not moist enough, or yeah, because I pasteurized the sawdust in hot water, very hot water, and sort of kept it there for a while, boiled it, then I wringed it out and then put the spores inside, and that's when I put them in the bags. But I don't know if I got too much water or too little, but basically the parts that were wet, where as the water drained down, they're quite hard. I can literally, it's like, yeah, it's like a, they don't feel like they're, you know, sawdust anymore. It feels like there's actual, and then again at the top, it's quite, there's like little bits that are quite hard, where I can feel like the mycelium's really starting to harden up. But in the middles, it's just sort of, yeah, just like it still feels like sawdust. So I don't know what to do about that. Last year when I grew mushrooms, they went really well. It was quite quick and you know, happy days. But this has taken literally months. It's about 2 months now, and there's, you know, there's mycelium, but it's just barely growing. So I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, it's not a failed experiment yet, but I will keep them for another month or so, and then I will pop holes in the side and see if I can actually get them to fruit and grow into mushrooms. But this is just an awkward spot to put them. We live in such a small flat here in South London. You know, it's sort of the standard. But yeah, I mean, what can you do, eh? Hopefully one day we'll have, you know, a bigger piece of land. But I guess in this space you're sort of forced to think outside the box, you know. We've been doing a lot of container, like last year we grew in a lot of containers, which was really fun, and you know, I could see how container gardening can be really a thing in the suburbs. If you're living in an apartment, or if you've got a really small block of land, even if you've just got a balcony, or if you don't have a balcony, you know, put something near the window and it's going to grow. And in summer, you never know, you could grow something with the window open. You could have a tomato plant, even if you had that growing up on a string, or on it's like a little makeshift trellis. Lettuce are really good to grow inside. You can have lettuce inside as long as there's enough sun. They like a lot of water, which is good, so it shouldn't dry out too much inside. You can grow those. We were growing those last year in these bottles here. Literally growing them. So we had like one lettuce plant each growing in one of these. We would basically chop the top off and then just put a bunch of soil in and plant our lettuce. And they went so well that we had too much lettuce. We just had to go out and cut it every other day and have a salad or whatnot. And it was great. It was really good, really interesting, So that can be done inside if you want. So yeah, it's been fun. Last year, during the sort of like height of the virus, when things are really sort of, a bit freaky, like no one's in the streets and everyone's wearing masks, and people are losing their jobs, and no one knows the way forward, and the death rate's going up and whatnot. And even when there was nothing not much in the shops for about a week or two, the shops were pretty cleared out and everyone was really panic buying there. And so I thought, well, screw it, I'm just gonna grow a little garden. If these food shortages keep happening, I'll have something, at least. I mean, obviously we're not gonna fall into oblivion. Maybe, who knows, but at the time you didn't know. And yeah, it was just a fun experiment too. So I got those seeds and I grew them, and we had a really great harvest, and it was so much fun. And it was good as like a de-stressor as well. Like I was on furlough and Kay was on furlough, and we were we were working on other projects and doing other things, and it was just so nice that during the day you could go out, water the garden, you had a routine, pick the vegetables and whatnot, and sort of look after the seedlings, and it was just a lot of fun. And I learned a lot about gardening. I saw YouTube like mad, and that's kind of why I'm starting this, because if anyone has not been through the journey of say growing a worm bin inside the house, or growing mushrooms in a bag, or having a small plot, or even just a small space in their apartment, they can sort of watch these videos and go, okay, yeah, it's possible. Who knows? Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. Oh yeah, so the idea for the channel is 2 mango trees. That would be my dream. My parents have 2 mango trees in their house, in their yard in Australia, in Brisbane, and I guess that's where the sort of inspiration for this, the name for this channel came from. Their mango trees have grown since they moved there, 30 years ago or more. I don't know when they planted them, but yeah, they're huge. And my dad just recently sort of did some pruning. So yeah, I can't wait to get back there and see how those trees are going, and then to maybe one day have a plot of my own, and 2 mango trees, and that'd be cool. All right, thanks. See you later.